Yost Valley, how I became happier plus how you can too. The first one, the first thing I did was, first thing on my list is probably going to be a long one, was look at a whole bunch of quotes. These things like really change your perspective, or maybe you already had the belief, but you needed it to be, you needed to be reminded. Maybe you already had it deep down in you, but you needed to be reminded of that fact. And seeing those regularly, I have so many accounts that I followed on Instagram the last few weeks, last month or two, or something like that. And it's just quotes and positive thinking and all that to battle those negative thoughts that you might have, even if they're not words. Because I've noticed a lot of my thoughts aren't really words. It's like I have visions of negative things, and I have to, you have to fight back. I know it's negative to say fight your thoughts because it seems like you're battling, but maybe you low-key are. Maybe you do have to battle. You have to fight those negative thought loops. Because if you're here, you're looking to get happier, most likely. So you probably have bad thoughts, and that's where a lot of it comes from, just negative stuff in your head. Those quotes are really big, great reminders, whether you need affirmations to tell you how good you are, whether it's a mindset that you need to get into to get something done. It's just a big asset. Like everybody could really use that. You don't want to get to the point where you're only engaging with them, but you're not actually putting in work or doing anything. But I'm telling you, having them is a big tool, and everybody has access to it, and you just need to take advantage of it. The next part kind of goes into what I was talking about, the quotes. It's just questioning your negative thoughts. Question why you feel some type of way. You don't have to accept that negative thought as true automatically. You don't have to just let it sit there, and you don't have to keep thinking it later on. But really ask yourself, what makes me say that? Like, what makes me think that I can't do this? What makes me think that I'm ugly and all this other negative stuff? Because as long as you keep repeating it to yourself, it's no bueno. Like, just stop. Like, what positive thing could you get out of listening to and believing a negative thought? Nothing. A person doesn't walk around with negative thoughts all day with a smile on their face. At least no, Jesus, not anybody that I know. The next thing is no cringing. This really got brought on because of a video, or a few videos that I watched. One by Salem Tavar, hopefully I'm saying her name right, and it was another page. Maybe I'll find them. Maybe I'll put them on the screen. It really just highlighted just how much of a subculture on the internet cringe has become, especially things that you can't control about yourself. Like, it just breeds shame and, again, negative thoughts. And most likely it's going to be about you specifically, because it's yourself. Take that social risk. You'll probably feel better, or even if you don't, you'll probably build confidence because you've proven to yourself that you can do that and continue living. Your life's not going to end, and things aren't going to crumble for you. Facing those fears, taking those social risks, it can get you somewhere. But you need to stop cringing at yourself and others and saying stuff's too weird. is it just makes people not be themselves. Like, you have to be a certain way. And something Salem said, I believe, either I'm thinking about Salem or I'm thinking about some other quote I read, but everybody can't be cool. Everybody's not cool. Cool is the majority, I guess. You know, what most people are like. That's why it's cool. If you're not that, you're just not that, and you have to find your crowd, and you have to find the people that, as another quote says, go where you're appreciated, not tolerated, or something like that. Something along those lines. And we all know what that means, you know, and you want people to be happy that you're there, not just put up with you. But we gotta stop the whole mocking everything. Everything everyone does is a joke. Trying to meme everybody. And especially memeing people for being comfortable in their own skin, not being afraid to be themselves. People actually trying with stuff, but the spectators sitting back and laughing and calling them cringe. It's so backwards. It's so backwards to look at somebody actually doing something, actually trying something, actually being courageous, having the bravery to step up and do something, and will sit back and laugh and make fun of them for being confident or not being too concerned with what the masses are thinking. Just a very backwards thing. Another thing that can potentially, or I feel like it has contributed to my mental health improving, would be Stoicism plus a combination of other philosophies. I haven't gotten into too many. The main ones I've heard have been Stoicism and Taoism or Taoism. Honestly, I can't even think of any other ones right now, but I'm pretty sure there's way more out there to explore. But to just find other ones that really sit right with you. Stoicism, I found it about 2 or 3 years ago, I believe. I'm 18 now. Maybe I found it when I was like 15, 16, maybe. It's a little fuzzy, but it really tries to let you know, like, a part of it is resilience, or I think maybe a lot of it is. Like, I think a lot of Stoicism followers love parts that include enduring pain and going through suffering and not folding as a result of it, you know, not letting it overwhelm you, not letting things get to you, not worrying so much, which is another thought thing, because as many quotes will tell you, worrying doesn't change the outcome. It doesn't do anything for you. It probably only works against you. I mean, maybe it'll save you every once in a while. You should have some level of anxiety. You can't handle every challenge, especially physically. And there's some there's some animals that'll probably mess us up if we had to get in an altercation with it. But you know, weird analogy. I don't know what I was doing with that, but um, but yeah, finding a philosophy, certain movement, you know, that has a way of thinking that's beneficial for your mind could be beneficial, could make you happier, could improve your life in some other way. Maybe you become more disciplined. But yeah, philosophy is something to definitely check out. Plus, I just think it's interesting. So it might be something that you find is cool to study and whatnot. The next thing is meditation. I think I probably found out about it shortly after. Um, I've always known about it. I don't think I started doing it until about a year or something after 1 or 2 years after I got into philosophy. But I think it's best for managing your attention span, trying to get better with that. Only thing with meditation and also with the quotes is you have to be I feel like you have to be consistent with it. This isn't something you can hopefully do one time. I guess if you're like that, like if you just did it one day and all your problems are gone, I guess good for you. But I don't think it's something realistic to hope for. But it's a good attention span trainer. I'd start off with 5, then go 10, and then, keep going further. However much time you have with your schedule. It's great for negative thoughts because you can just keep it pushing, which you might not want to do all the time. Maybe you'll want to you can probably cognitive reframe once you get that negative thought, change it, and then keep it pushing. I don't know if you want to just let it go away. I think either one of those is better than ruminating on that bad thought. The meditation approach, which, as far as I know, I'm an amateur. I just do this. I try to be consistent with it. I'm not some meditation teacher. I guess the meditative approach would be to just let the thoughts bounce off of you. And the reframing approach would be to get the thought and, question it, maybe change it, say, what, I'm not ugly or I'm beautiful to someone else. Maybe you don't see yourself as beautiful, but somebody else will see your beauty on the exterior or the interior. But yeah, I think meditation's a big tool. I think I really, really got into it because of Healthy Gamer GG. So I really love Dr. K over there at Healthy Gamer GG. I love his channel. I've at one point even started binging his channel from start to hopefully I'll finish it one day. I still got a lot more videos to watch, but yeah. He regularly meditates on stream from what I've seen, and he talks about it in his videos. I just thought it was interesting. I think it's helped me. I think it's helped with my attention span. I think I'm most locked in when I'm regularly meditating because you let your mind get distracted for less amount of time. I don't think you're ever going to be no distraction in your mind. Maybe you can reach a flow state. It's limited distractions for sure. The next one is facing fears and putting in effort into things. You like to put in the least amount of effort needed to get a positive result. I think that's just what everybody wants. Just naturally be efficient. Because if you can get the same result, if you know you're destined to get the same result, no matter what you do, whether you put effort in or not, you're probably not going to put in the effort because it's easier. Would you want a life full of that? Probably not. You'd probably eventually put in effort in whatever it is just to keep yourself occupied or entertained. But I think facing your fears and putting in more effort, it makes you more confident to keep doing that, and maybe you get a positive event chain or something. Event cycle is some term for it. But yeah, facing those fears, showing to yourself the proof that you can do it, they'll probably do wonders for your confidence and just you feeling more free to be yourself. Like I said, there's no reason to be ashamed when you're not doing anything wrong. Even when you have done something wrong, we're bound to do it eventually. You gotta recover. You gotta try to do better from that point. Once you've done it, you've done it. No time machine, you know, you can't take it back. A lot of stuff I'm ashamed of, but you can't let that rule over you. I would hate to see anybody really, but especially somebody that I care about, take their own life because of shame or regret or something like that. You gotta move on. You gotta keep pushing. And I think thinking positively, seeing those positive quotes that'll uplift you, motivate you, I think things like that really help. The next one is Memento Mori. I actually haven't looked at it in a minute, so correct me if I'm wrong, or I'll probably put it on the screen. But I think it's something relating to basically acknowledging the fact that we're all gonna die. And the goal is to, motivate you to live the way that you want to live, or the way that you need to live if you feel like if you have some kind of philosophy that you live by, or religion or faith. Maybe you have a strict code of what you need to do or something like that, but that's next up on the list. But I'm personally agnostic, deist, in the case that there is a God. Yeah, just realizing that you're going to not be here, just caring less, not letting people's potential judgments of you throw you off and keep you from taking an action, not suppressing yourself because you're afraid of how it'll come off. I read a quote, they'll forget tomorrow. They're not going to keep thinking about you all day, every day. You're not the center of most people's lives. You're not thinking about you. You can do what you want, do what you need to do, and keep it moving. It's not that deep for most people. Maybe they'll laugh in the moment, maybe they'll have something negative to say, maybe they'll love it. At the end of the day, people's lives are going to keep moving and keep going. And so when you really start acting upon that Memento Mori mindset, I think you can get happier. I think you can start doing more things that you would usually not do, that you really want to do. You gotta remember your time is limited. We're all gonna expire someday, and our lives could be cut short. We're not guaranteed 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years. We're not guaranteed it. But as I mentioned before, next thing is faith or religion. Like I said, it's personally not for me, at the very least not at this very point in my life. I'm, like I said, agnostic, and in the case that there is a God, deist. But a lot of people do find meaning through that. I personally hope that a lot of people don't find their entire meaning from it. But I guess that's how most faiths work. I hear a lot of people say things like, basically they owe their life to their God and whatnot, and I guess that makes sense. Because, they're trying to be like their God, and they want to live a pious life. They want to please their God. They want to be as close. They want to walk in the image of their God. If that makes you happier, I feel like there's a lot of people that are passive in their religion. Like, they are raised in one, but they're not really in it for real. They're not like very religious. They were just born into that with their family. So maybe if you are like that, maybe getting deeper into your religion can help you, but that's something. Another thing is passion. I personally don't have one that I know of. Besides like talking to people, I really like talking to people. I thought for the longest time that I was an introvert, but like a year maybe ago, I realized I'm just a shy extrovert. Like, I don't have the social talent that most extroverts have that are like social butterflies. I don't have that. I could build my skills. I should. I plan to. But yeah, I think mine would just be talking to people I love. Now that I've been so starved of connections with people and relationships with people, I think it's really reminded me how precious they are. But you have to find what your passion is, whether it be music or writing, poetry. Maybe have to isn't the right phrasing, actually, wording. You can try, but maybe there really is some people like me, or at least the way I am now. I'm not saying I couldn't eventually find it. I am only 18, and preferably I would have found it before now, but you can still find your passion, and I think finding that and acting on that is a great way to increase your happiness. If I can be as happy as I am right now with no passion, I'm sure people with passion and multiple passions I'm sure that can be multiplied, bro. And I see it with people. I see people with passions when they're really in tune with it, when they're really after it, getting after it, when they're really doing something, their energy is like that, bro. They've got that energy. That passion gives them a light. I don't know. The last one on the list would be gratitude. A lot of people I've seen will say like gratitude is all you need. I tried that for a little minute and it was like short-lived happiness, but I'm sure if you really are that grateful, maybe you really can just walk around smiling like SpongeBob all day. I guess showing your teeth to everybody. I need that kind of happiness. But yeah, I think it is big because I've really taken a time to think about, like, I've had a really pretty blessed life. Like, financially, I'm not I'm not I'm not born into a rich family, but I've never had to worry about if I'm gonna be able to have a meal when I need it. You know, we've been secure for a good little minute, and that's something to be appreciative of. And that's to my parents, it's to any divine figure that may be above, because I don't, denounce, if that's the right word. I don't say for sure that there is one or isn't. I always say to myself, and if there is one, they can hear me. I would assume if they're omnipotent, that I thank them, or thank whatever's out there for me being born into this. I've always said mentally that my family or my parents provided great financially, but not the best emotionally. And either way, I'm still grateful. I have access to things that a lot of things people would hope of. Some people don't have something that would probably be the bare minimum for me, and that's something to really appreciate and be grateful for. And also, when you just get put in a less than desirable situation, it just kind of reminds you, like, damn, I should have really appreciated when everything was good. I see that with just mundane scenarios, like maybe the power like goes out, maybe the lights go out, and you'll be sitting there just like, oh damn. This really only happens ever so often, but you don't really take time to appreciate that, hey, the lights have been working consistently for a long time, and that's good. Like, and many other blessings, just like what I mentioned before, like not having to worry about not having the funds to eat or have basic necessities, or living in a bad area. All things that we might on some level be grateful for, but we don't really think about it. And I guess it's good to bring it back to your conscious mind and remind yourself of those things that you really are so grateful to have. But yeah, I think that just about concludes the list. If everything goes according to plan, this will be my first video that I've uploaded and pretty much kept up. I've just been deleting, whether it be on this channel or past channels I made like years ago, where I was posting like random gameplays. But yeah, I think the most important things that I talked about were quotes and reframing your perspective, your mind, your thoughts. That will really go a long way, because changing your perspective is pretty much everything. If you still think the same way, you're gonna be the same way you've always been. With all that said, I'm gonna leave y'all with one quote that I'm sure a lot of us have heard, but the only shot you miss is the shot that you don't take. That being said, start trying, keep trying, be more positive. Don't put yourself or others down. Just have fun, enjoy your life while you have it. Be safe.